Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Singer and the Suitcase. And I'm honored today to have Ambassador Obie with me to talk about our subjects, Civil War, orphans, and world peace. Welcome, Ambassador. It's so great to have you here today. And thank you so much for being willing to share your story and your journey from Sierra Leone to Helsinki, Finland. It's quite an amazing journey. Where did it begin? Where did it begin for you in Sierra Leone?
Well, thank you very much, Claudine Maya. I'm also honored to be here and to give my voice to this wonderful topic that is like civil war, orphans, and world peace. I will say that I've been very much involved in helping the orphans and promoting world peace due to what I personally experienced in Sierra Leone, the civil war. It all started when I was a child, at the age 12. I had to leave my parents to find a greener pasture, and I landed in a church, and I was singing in the church. Here is where I had the message, the biblical teaching about love, humanity, and all of it. So my passion for peace and music sprang directly from the church. So that is where it all began.
That's beautiful. And it translates through your music and it translates through your projects throughout the world, and especially with your schools in Sierra Leone for the orphans of Ebola. I'm very curious, how did you survive 11 years of a civil war? I understand that you were singing peace songs throughout the region, and also you've been honored by the BBC, and I know that you've been honored by the United Nations for your work, which is very, very impressive. But I'm very, very curious, how does one survive a civil war?
Well, I will say it's just because of the blessings of God, because I am not better than those who were killed. I'm not better than those who were raped. I'm not better than those whose properties were destroyed. I'm not better than those who were maimed. But the thing is that it's just by the special grace of God that I'm able to like survive it, because it was not really easy. People were like killed, properties destroyed indiscriminately. And during that particular period, I was living in a church, like I earlier mentioned. I stayed in this church diocese, and yes, we were praying that God would turn situation around, because what the church was praying for is like development, peace, sanity, tranquility, and all the rest of it. I believe that the fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much, and in that um, sense, God Himself was able to, cover and protect me, because even the church where I am mentioning now that I was living was burnt down, but still I survived. It's because of the special grace of God. It's not by righteousness, no any kind of gimmick or plan or skills that one has, but God willed it that way. But I would say before the war came to the capital of Sierra Leone, I had already engaged in peace preaching all over Sierra Leone. With my Ripster culture band, we wrote peace songs trying to change the mindset of the general populace in Sierra Leone, but especially the youth who were misused by wicked politicians who just want power at all costs. So our focus was more on the youthful populace, targeting them in different communities, ghettos, slums, and preach the peaceful message, advising them not to be gullible in a way that they can be easily used by wicked politicians by giving them drugs, giving them money, giving them clothes, and making fabulous promises that were unfulfilled. So all these messages came from my heart and through the music because we transmitted the positive message of peace building and conflict resolution through songs, and it went well.
That's amazing, absolutely incredible. And that takes me to the next subject because I had the honor of meeting you in The Hague, in the Netherlands, years ago performing. And it was President Karoma that was there, correct?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
And you were with the president.
Yes, yes. I was with President because I've been like the Sierra Leone music ambassador to Europe.
So, how did you end up in the Oval Office of Freetown with President Karoma? How did that happen?
Well, like I already mentioned, it's just because of the grace of God. It's not by power. It's not by might. It's not by what one may think. It's not by your qualification. It's not by anything. It's how God wills it. Like when I was promoting these peace songs, they went viral. I was interviewed by the BBC. I had an exclusive interview over the BBC by Umaru Fofana, a BBC reporter from Sierra Leone, and my songs like Savienga and No More War were aired on the BBC for 11 months and on VAA for 3 months. And later in 2008, I was toured with by the UN, WIN, which is the West African Youth Network, the IBIS, International Interchurch Organization for Development Cooperation. And this was like widespread, and it rang the bell of the good work that I and my team are doing to preach peace and development, because peace is going at the same pace with development. Because if you cannot have stability, there will not be a foundation for development. So my country, went through the scourges of civil war, and we know the importance of peace. And even president, the ministers, government people, stakeholders in development, they know the importance of peace and peace building. Sierra Leone have been wrecked because of senseless war. If we would have had peace building education messages, maybe the war would not have erupted, and that would not have taken us to a backward position. Now we are even trying to refurbish what we have destroyed, let alone to say develop from where we were. So we have more years to cope with the development trend of the world. So my president, in his wisdom, thought it wise to invite me to come and perform for him in the delegation that we are coming to Belgium, Netherlands, and what is it? Just to honor me for the work I am doing. And later, when he returned to Freetown, I was invited by the president at the State House, and he commended me for the good work I'm doing. I think that's what's more than silver and gold. I appreciate it because that is the work I am doing, that is my passion, that is my reality. So this is how it came about. Because what I'm doing.
Na 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 na. Yo yo. Bad friends won't help you in this life, yo.
Mama, take this badge off of me.
Mama, take this bird, yo.
'Cause I can't use it anymore.
Lord, I can't use it anymore. Yeah.
It's getting dark, too dark for me to see. I feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
I'm feeling like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Knocking and knocking and knocking.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Knocking and knocking and knocking.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Mama put my guns in the ground.
To the ground.
I can't shoot them anymore.
I can't shoot them anymore.
Long black clouds coming down.
Young black clouds is coming down, yo.
Feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
I'm feeling like I'm knocking one more time, yeah.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Knocking and knocking.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, mama, put the gun to the ground. I can't shoot no one anymore. Yeah, it's a long dark cloud coming down. Yeah, yeah. Oh Lord, I'm feeling like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Yeah,
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
knocking and knocking.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door.
This life that I'm living, yo. Mama, don't cry no more. Mama, don't cry. I've come to my senses. Blessed when blessing come, darkness will away.
Well, that was Knocking on Heaven's Door. It's a great song, and it's so appropriate for the subject that we're talking about. And also, there's so much conflict right now worldwide and in the United States with gun violence. And thank you so much for sharing your story. And I'm so glad we were able to record that song, Obie. It just sounds really beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, going back to Sierra Leone with you, where did your schools begin, and with the Ebola outbreak and the orphans of the Ebola epidemic? When did that begin for you?
Well, that started in 2015. I was living in Finland when I heard that Ebola had struck West Africa, and Sierra Leone was one of the affected countries. It really pricked my heart a lot that my people were dying and there was no remedy, which ignited me to wage a campaign here in Finland with the topic "Kick Ebola Out of Africa," and I was able to ship a container of medical, educational, and domestic materials to Sierra Leone. I went with these materials. I distributed them to hospitals for free, distributed some to communities that were in their need of it, and I saw the need to help some of these orphans that lost their parents during the Ebola outbreak. There was no valuable thing I could give to them as at that time, except education, because education is one of the most important keys to life success. So I thought of giving them education, empowering them educationally. So with my own finance, I bought a piece of land located in an area that is called Newton, Brown specifically, and I built a school that is called Kilan Kolu Primary School for Ebola orphans and needy kids. Because some of the parents there were poor, and later they died, left these kids. Even when the parents were alive, it was difficult for these kids to access education and to access better life, not to mention when these parents had already died and gone. So we had 3 sets of kids we are taking care of: orphans, single parents, kids, and disadvantaged kids, because they need help. The help is needed, but predominantly the school is full of, dominated by orphans. So we developed that school, and it is up and running now. There are few people in Finland here who are supporting, who are well-wishers, supporting little by little. But the bulk of the support is coming from me, from the sales of my CDs, from my own personal salary that I'm using, to support the school. And like I said, I just want to thank some of the Finnish people that have been supporting me materially and economically in sustaining the school. So it's up and running.
Well, congratulations. That's just fantastic. And may I ask you, is there any sort of governmental support for these orphans? Is there any internal support for the orphans within Sierra Leone?
Well, I would rightly say no. No, we are not receiving any support from any governmental structure in Sierra Leone and out of Sierra Leone. This has been my own dream under what I coined as the Obie Scholarship Fund. I want to help kids with my talent and with the little provision God is making for me in my life. Because looking back, I was 12 years old when I left my parents and stayed in the church, got my indoctrination in the church, got my teachings in the church, learned instruments in the church, know the music in the church, singing and all these things from the church. So I need to give back, and this is the way I'm giving back to my country and my people.
Well, that's just fantastic. And that's why we recorded in Cape Town a beautiful song called Lean on Me.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we always know that there's tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long, 'cause I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. You just cold on the rug. You need him. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem. You'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. And I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long, I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Call on me, sister.
You need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just
Might have a problem, but you understand, yo.
We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear,
That you can't carry.
now right up the road.
I'm sure, yeah, Lord, yeah.
If you just call me, if you need a friend, call me, call me,
Call me on.
call me. If you need a friend,
If you need a friend, call me.
call me, call me.
Call me on. Call me on. If you ever need a friend, baby, call me on. Call me on.
Lean on Me. Yeah, Obie, thanks for recording that in Cape Town.
Welcome, Claudia.
It's really nice arrangement.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice
yeah.
recording studio.
Yeah.
So glad we did that. Where did your passion begin to help children and be a peace activist and record peace songs and be honored throughout the world? Where did that begin and when?
Well, that began in Sierra Leone since 1991. Yes,
What was happening in 1991?
That was the year the war started in Sierra Leone. Because you can never become a winner if you've not in battle. You can never got the prize if you've not been tested. So that was the situation that really motivated me to come into active peace activism, charity and philanthropic work. Because all these graphics that were like circulated around the country about people who were maimed, raped, houses burned, people in deplorable conditions, was like very heavy for me in my heart. And it's opened my eyes and I saw different things on how to be a succor and how to be like a source of help for those people. If I would have been a rich man, I think I would have really, helped millions, thousands, because that is just how I grew up to be, to see myself in another person's shoe, to feel for the person, to share, someone's burden and happiness. Not only to share someone's problem, but to share someone's happiness. I feel good when people feel good, and I feel sad when people feel sad.
Well, that really, really shows in your music and your passion and your creativity, and your album, Help Ebola Orphans, is a beautiful album with many, many songs that are sharing your ideas about pretty much everything you've been talking about today. Seems like from a young age, you've always been an activist for world peace.
Yes, indeed.
And that's where you came from, and through your experiences and hardships in the war in Sierra Leone, and throughout your philanthropic work with your orphans of Ebola. What is your vision for world peace?
My vision for world peace is very, very strong, because the world must be a better place for one and all. Now we are like relating world peace to climate issues, how to make the climate very conducive for the inhabitants of the world. So I'm calling on all and sundry to join me in this campaign to have a healthy climate on Earth. It's good for us. It's good for our children, generation yet unborn. But I would rightly say that you can never have proper passion for peace, for the world, if you haven't got it for your home. Because charity begins at home. I always wanted to see my family in peace, in harmony, playing, laughing. I always want to see my community, because it's like extending from the home to the community in peace. I want to involve in something that will bring joy, positive feelings, cohabitation, respect, tolerance. Then it extends to the nation. I want to see my country, specifically Sierra Leone, in peace, total peace, that will bring development and eradicate this abject poverty. And I want to see the sub-region, because it's growing, but it starts from you. The peace starts from you as an individual. It reflects to your home, your community, your country, your sub-region, your continent, and the world at large. So I want to see the sub-region, West African sub-region. I want to see Africa as a whole in peace. That is why one of the songs I have in this my album, LP Bola Offense, says, yes, in my vision, I saw a new Africa. City is good, infrastructure is nice, streets are gold, like everything golden. No war, war is destroying all the infrastructures. War is destroying the human capacity. War is destroying even the spiritual fabric of a nation, because so many things can be defied, which is sometimes taboo in our society.
It's very interesting that you said that, because there's a movie out, Leonardo DiCaprio. Have you heard of the movie?
Well, yes.
What's the name of that film?
Leonardo DiCaprio in this
Diamond Blood.
Yes, Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond, yes.
Blood Diamond.
Well, I saw that film, and he was talking to the journalist in the film, and his parents, the character's parents, his parents had been killed in the war. He was from South Africa. And he said to the journalist, he said, I wonder if God will ever forgive any of us of what we have done to each other. And then he paused, and he said, but guess what? I think God left this God-forbidden place a long time ago. And that was when he was within the Civil War. So that movie was extremely reflective of the time that you're talking about. And it's just an absolute honor to talk to you today.
But I'll tell you outrightly, Clauline, that we've already changed the narrative in Sierra Leone.
Of course.
Now we are no more talking about Blood Diamond. We're now talking about the Peace Diamond, because Sierra Leone has transformed itself to a peace emulation country. Understand? Because we are the peaceful democratic transitions from one political party to another, and we won the African Peace Award in 2009. We are progressing as a nation.
But we were just going back to the early 90s when we were talking about that movie.
That's true.
But now we have a non-conflict diamond.
Yes, non-conflict diamond, because that particular story stigmatized Sierra Leone. Understand? Because so many nations went through so many things, but after that they were able to overcome their situations and forge ahead. Sierra Leone is forging ahead successfully. Sierra Leone is open to investment. Sierra Leone's tourism and kind of hospitality is very much open now. So we want to see more people come to Sierra Leone and experience.
Of course. And right now, Sierra Leone is a cruise port. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a cruise port, Sierra Leone. Wow. So, yes, cruise ships are now docking in Sierra Leone, which is fabulous.
Wow, that is great. You see, that is the message we are spreading around the world, that come to Sierra Leone, experience the difference, because there are many sides of the story. But when you come there, you are able to enjoy the warm hospitality of the people. Sierra Leone's people are very, very much hospitable. But because of this political impasses, political division, ethnocentric politics that really brought Sierra Leone to have fought the senseless and brutal 11 years civil war. But we woke up from our sleep and even our slumber, and we said, no more again can we be in this kind of illusion, because the war didn't bring us any good, it just brought us harm, and now we are suffering. Our children are suffering. So we have decided as a nation, as a loving people, as people with respect, people with dignity, to never, ever attempt such again in any circumstances, whatever might be the case. We are ready to hold our hands and push forward for development and national cohesion.
Well, that's absolutely fabulous to see this transformation. And that is your vision for world peace.
Yes, indeed. Because like I said, charity begins at home. You can never transform the world if you have not transformed yourself and your family, your community, and your nation.
Well, thank you so much, Obie. It's just an honor again to be with you here today. And thank you for sharing your story. And let's hope these songs help the orphans and promote more world peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Claudia Maya. Yes, this is the lovely voice of Obie Freeze, ambassador, Sierra Leone music ambassador of all over Europe. What do you say?